Hello, I'm Niall Livesey, and this is Test Drive. We're in St-Hyacinthe, Quebec at Mazda de Boulevard, and we're looking at the new 2018 Mazda 3. We're looking at both the sedan and sport versions of this car, as well as the GT with tech package and the GX. So that if you're in the market for a new compact car, you can know what the difference is between these two trims and everything else that you need to know. We're going to be going in depth on both of them and taking both for a drive to see how they both perform and what the difference is between the sedan and the hatchback.
We're really happy to be able to show you two spectrums of the 2018 Mazda 3 today. First up is the Sport model with the GX trim. The base model GX can be configured with either a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission, and both the sedan or hatchback body style. The GX and GS models both come with Mazda's smaller 2-liter SKYACTIV-G engine with 155 horsepower and 150 foot-pounds of torque. On the outside, we find automatic off projector halogen headlights, but no front fog lamps. You get 16-inch steel wheels with plastic hubcaps, but the mirrors and door handles are all painted in the same factory color. The hatchback design has been found on the Mazda 3 for all 3 generations so far, and is usually the go-to option for enthusiasts and those who like additional trunk space. The hatch opens up wide and has a privacy cover to keep your belongings hidden. The rear seats fold in a 60/40 design to allow for additional rear storage space if needed. Inside, we find a familiar layout consistent with Mazda's model lineup. The front seats are comfortable with the cloth trim and allow for 4-way manual adjustment. Standard features such as power windows, locks, and mirrors are found on the Mazda 3. Gone are the days of manual controls for any of these. The Sport model comes equipped with comfort and convenience packages found on the sedan, which adds manual air conditioning, a trip computer, tachometer, and steering wheel mounted audio controls. The other features found with the Sport model are Mazda's Smart City brake support, an electronic parking brake, cruise control, Bluetooth audio with an additional 2 speakers over the base model's 4, a 7-inch color touchscreen, a wide-angle backup camera, and additional USB ports to connect your devices. Since the Mazda Connect system only requires the navigation SD card, you could add the functionality to this trim without having to go up a trim level. But let's say you did want to go up a trim level. For an additional $8,000, you get the fully loaded GT with technology and premium packages. The GT we have is a sedan, so you can see what's different between the two styles. The Sport or hatchback costs $1,000 more than the sedan. The biggest mechanical difference with the GT is the larger 2.5-liter SKYACTIV-G engine, which adds about 30 horsepower and torque to the car and gives the driver a more sport-oriented experience. Buying the Mazda 3 Sport GT with premium package and the 6-speed manual is the closest thing we'll get to having a Mazda Speed 3 in North America, at least for the time being. Up front, the GT adds auto leveling and automatic on-off LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, and LED rear tail lights. Along the bottom and out of sight of our camera are the active air shutters, which open or close depending on your speed and weather conditions, which is added with the tech package along with regenerative braking. The GT with premium package bumps up the rims to 18-inch alloys with a gunmetal finish along with thicker all-season tires. Around back, the trunk offers ample space based on the compact car dimensions of the Mazda 3, and like the Sport, allows you to fold the seats back with a 60/40 fashion for extended space, but the rest of the interior is where we really start to see the differences with the GT trim. The same 7-inch Mazda Connect screen is located in the middle, but comes with navigation as standard. The GT also adds a power moonroof, dual-zone automatic climate control, advanced blind spot monitoring, and rear cross-traffic alert. The $2,900 premium package brings the rest of the st-hyacinthe safety features such as lane keep assist, lane departure warning, smart brake support, forward obstruction warning, and distance recognition. The seats are also finished in leather and include a leather-wrapped steering wheel with heat. You also get Mazda's radar cruise control and a 9-speaker Bose audio system with a heads-up display. Add on another $1,350 for the technology package, and you'll get traffic sign recognition, advanced keyless entry, auto-dimming rearview mirror, adaptive front headlights, HomeLink, and XM radio. Now, unfortunately, the tech package is only offered on the automatic transmissions, but you could get the optional flappy paddles and make life more interesting. And speaking of interesting, let's take the 2018 Mazda 3 Sport GX out for a drive to see how that 2-liter engine handles and performs on the road.
The direct competition for the Mazda 3 is the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla. Now, the Corolla has never been offered in hatchback, but Honda is starting to do the hatchback again for the Civic. So, I mean, if you wanted a hatchback, you really only had the Mazda 3 as an option. And we did review the Chevy Cruze a while ago, too, which is also a compact car. And they do offer that as well with a hatchback. We did drive the hatchback, we just didn't do a video for test drive with it. So you do have some options in this segment. I gotta say, I do like the drive of this so far. We've been driving around here. It does feel very similar to the CX-5 that we own, as well as the CX-9 that we drove a little while ago as well. The steering wheel is plastic, so it's a little bit harder than it is on the other models, but everything else is really laid out the exact same way. You know, you may love or hate it, but a lot of manufacturers are going that way, where the interiors and the exteriors follow the same basic design language, and especially with the interior of the Mazdas that we've driven, they are really very similar. You've got the screen up top, heating vents and everything below that, and then your HVAC controls below that. And it makes sense if you really do love the brand, if you love Mazda and you have a CX-5, CX-9, and you wanted to get a smaller vehicle, then you could get something like the Mazda 3 and not have to worry about a learning curve or getting used to it, because you might say, well, there is no learning curve. You drive it, it's all the same no matter what, even if they're different. But I got to say that I don't agree with that. We've been driving a lot of cars recently, and the CX-5 has been sitting in the garage for about 3 weeks, and I went to go use it today, and I was looking for controls on the vehicles that I was used to over the last couple of weeks. So buying a car like the Mazda 3, if you've already got a Mazda, you don't have to worry about, are the headlights on? How do I forget how to do the radio? I was doing that today. So it's all very similar, and it feels natural, and I really got to say that the design and layout's very functional in this car. And I love doing videos like this because we have the opportunity to show you two vehicles, right? We've got this, which is the hatchback, but then we also have the sedan as well. And the sedan's fully loaded. This one is the base model. And I gotta say, with the base model, you do miss a couple things. It would have been nice to have heated seats, especially on a freezing cold day like this. But overall, you have the things that you need. You do have cruise control, you do have Bluetooth and USB to be able to connect into it. And you can upgrade to navigation if you want. It does have the navigation button here. You just have to buy the maps from the dealer. So you can still upgrade to navigation, which is always a great thing if you don't know the areas you're going to be in. Or, I just like having them on, even if I know where I'm going. It's just nice to see instead of the radio. And when we're doing a test drive like this, where I'm not actually using the radio, the screen's kind of useless. So you can do some upgrades with it, but at the base price, this is a very functional car, even without heated seats and things like that. If you need to get to and from point A and B, you need to be able to put 4 people in the car. I was able to fit in the back seat, so you certainly have room back there. And really, the drive is pretty good. We're going just through some residential areas here, but we were on the sort of faster side roads here in St-Hyacinthe earlier, and I gotta say that there's no issue with the car picking up speed, and it really feels fun. It's a small car, the handling is pretty good, the ride is pretty comfortable too when we think back to the other compact cars that we've driven. So it really is a good competitor to things like the Corolla and the Civic, but also things like the Cruze and the Focus. Now, we're behind the wheel of the sedan GT with Tech package, and it comes very well equipped. You have the heads-up display, which pops out. You've also got radar-guided cruise control, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, a collision avoidance system. There's quite a lot going on with this car, and I have to say that after such a frigid recording, getting everything done before here, it's quite nice being able to get in the car with full heated seats as well as a heated steering wheel. It's really nice to have that on a car of this trim. So there's quite a bit going on with this car, and really, I have to say, it's one of the only cars that I know of that has a heads-up display on a compact car like this. The CX-5 has it, CX-3 as well, their compact SUV, micro compact SUV has it, but I can't really think of anybody else that has a heads-up display in a car of this size, unless you go up to things like Mercedes-Benz or BMW. Now, one of the things that I was really surprised about, even though it's basically the same thing, just in the sedan version as well, is you've got sport mode, but you also have flappy paddles, so you can throw it down, and look, as soon as you click that button to shift down, it goes. And unlike a lot of the other cars that we've driven, where especially we've driven some performance vehicles with flappy paddles that aren't dual clutch automated transmissions, and I gotta say that they're very slow to shift, but this one, I'm really impressed. It shifts right away, especially for an automatic, and there's really very little delay, especially when shifting down. So if you want to get an automatic, maybe because you're like me, your wife refuses to drive a manual car, so you have no choice but to get an automatic, this is great. I mean, I'm really surprised that it's come with flappy paddles, especially on the trim that isn't the sport trim, right? This is the sedan, but it's still very sporty, and I gotta say, I really was surprised with these flappy paddles. And look, shift down, take it around the corners. It's just really fun. I'm really impressed with this car, and I have to say that, you know, if you were to get a Mazda 3, in my opinion, go with the hatchback. You get more space. The car doesn't, you don't lose anything. You get more space with it. Go with this, get the GT, and then throw the tech package on too if you want things like the heads-up display. But, you know, driving around here with that heads-up display and the flappy paddles, I really feel like I'm in Forza Motorsport. You can shift down and just like go to town on these corners. Nice big straight here. Man, it's a lot of fun. I'm really impressed just with that little feature. I mean, I don't know. I think that that's probably my little secret feature that I found on this that really makes this one the one to get. That flappy paddle setup, throw it on a hatchback, you're going to be having endless fun. Or, you know, I know that there's a lot of the manual die-hard enthusiasts out there, and they're going to say, well, you just get the manual. And it's true, you certainly can. Mazda still offers a manual transmission with this car, so you could certainly do that, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, flappy paddles. You can row your own gears. But if you're, like I said, in a situation like me where you really have an automatic as the only option, then this is really fun. And just because there's no clutch and you're not actively shifting the gears doesn't take away from the enjoyment. I think that if I had this exactly like this as a hatchback, I'd be having a lot of fun every single day.
There are a few changes from the 2017 models to 2018. Much like the other 2018 vehicles we've featured from Mazda so far, the changes are mostly with options available at specific trim levels. Smart City brake support is added to the GX with convenience package, and the iActive-Sense package is available on the GS model to get the safety tech without having to jump up to the GT. Aside from that, the titanium flash mica paint has been removed as an option, but eternal blue mica is available on the GX with convenience package. These changes also apply to the base sport model as they include the convenience package. Whether you want a sedan or hatchback, cloth seats or leather, automatic or manual transmission, and a ton of great safety features, the Mazda 3 has a lot to offer. I've been very impressed with this car and definitely recommend going up to the GT trim to get Mazda's 2.5-liter engine, along with the great additional features offered with the premium and technology packages. We like to talk about the competing vehicles when reviewing a new car here on Test Drive. The 2018 Honda Civic hatchback with the Sport Touring trim has a 180 horsepower, 1.5-liter turbo engine, a 6-speed manual transmission as standard or a CVT as an option, and a very similar feature set to the Mazda 3. The Civic, though, adds wireless phone charging, rear heated seats, and a 12-speaker audio system with a subwoofer. Configure it with the CVT and you're looking at about $30,890. The top-end 2018 Corolla SE CVT has a 1.8-liter 132 horsepower engine, and again, similar safety and technology features as the Mazda and Honda. You do need to jump up to $27,984, which adds the XSE package, which has navigation, a 7-inch screen, and leatherette seating. Overall, though, we've been very happy with the Mazda 3. It hits all the right notes with the option of a manual transmission, hatchback design, competitive pricing, and overall comfort and ride handling. We do hope that Mazda plans on adding Android Auto and Apple CarPlay soon, and the heated rear seats found in the Civic are great features which could be added as well. We'd also love to see Mazda focus more on the sport aspect of their models with additional sport options and the return of the Mazda Speed line. You can read all about our experience with the 2018 Mazda 3 on perpetualradio.ca/testdrive, along with all the other cars and products we review. Thanks for watching this episode of Test Drive Spotlight. As always, your support helps make this show possible, so please consider sharing this video and subscribing to our channel if you haven't done so already. Until next time, take care.